this young man who was a child of God, and we must always remember the humanity in all people, because I want to call everybody's attention to the video. Look at not the edited video that the police released, but the actual bystander video that shows the best angle as to what really happened here. And it's so unjustified. Should we show the video for now?
Sure.
Before I go on? Oh my God. Okay. And I want to have people watch that with the sound like I saw it too. But let me continue on for now, and we will revisit that for the press and just as important for the public. We want everybody to watch that video, Commissioner Womack, of what happened in Grand Rapids, this unjustifiable video. I mean, it's so unjustifiable, this assassination, because that's what it looks like when you watch it. It is an assassination. I mean, 3 shots to the back while he's face down, while a dog is ripping him limb for limb with bites all over his body. And yet they shoot him 3 times from behind.
With 2 officers.
With two officers. And they try with everything they can to justify it, but there's no justifying this. And you don't have to believe Ben Crump. You don't have to believe Ven Johnson. You don't have to believe his mother, Angelica Johnson. You can believe your eyes. You can believe your eyes. Look at that video. There is no way they can justify it. So what do you have is the playbook. First, they assassinate the person, and then they go to assassinate the character so they can tell you, oh, you don't have to have any consideration for this person. You don't have to give them any respect. You don't have to offer them any condolences or dignity because they were not good. And that's what they try to do. They try to say he doesn't deserve any humanity, because certainly it was inhumane, every aspect of what they did to Daquan Johnson in killing him. And we are committed to doing a thorough investigation to dot every I and cross every T so we can get to the truth, because the truth is the foundation for justice. And today we raise the justice baton for Daquan, and we refute the police chief's mistruths that were proclaimed to his mother and the community when this first happened. I think Attorney Johnson, he said that the reason they shot him 3 times below the back of his head was because he pointed a gun at his officers, in the face of his officers.
In the face of his officers, exactly what he said.
And so we're still waiting for that video, Chief. We're still waiting for that video. You released videos today, but we noticed you didn't release that video because, as the bystander video shows us clearly, he did not point a gun in the face of your officer. And so what we want is the truth. This mother doesn't deserve lies. She deserves the truth. This community don't deserve lies. They deserve the truth. And so the video of him pointing a gun in the police officer's face We wait for it. And before we have Ben and Angelica continue on, the reason I'm framing this issue, because if they would tell you an untruth about one thing, that is that he pointed a gun in the face of his officers, and that's what they offered to try to justify the 3 shots to the back while he was already face down, then can you believe what they're trying to tell you today? That is the crux of the matter. It's about transparency and then accountability, and then we can get to trust. But if there's no transparency, we don't even get to the first base of getting to trust. And so let's see the video. We want to see the video of the officer having a gun pointed in his face by Ven Johnson that was used to justify all of this. And I guess if you're using the algebraic expression, if there is no gun pointed at your officer's face, then we can conclude that it was not justified. Either you got a video that shows us what you were saying was true when you first came out on February 18th, or you don't. And you must admit to the community that that was not true. Thank you.
I'm going to show you the video one more time, and I want to focus now. This is the bystander video, and I want you to focus, please, on, and forgive me, Angelica, for having to talk like this in front of you. He's face down. He is being bitten by a canine dog.
The dog is on him.
And he is being handled by 2 officers trying to handcuff him. It appears in the beginning of the video, what we're looking at right now, that his left hand may already be behind his back, and the focus now is on his other side, which of course in the beginning of the video you can't see the right side because the camera is to the left of Daquan. So let's go very slowly. You can see the dog to the right. Dog is basically on top of our
The
client.
dog is on him.
Right? Stop. You can see the dog and his tail all the way to the right. If you look right in the middle of the photo, that's Officer 1 on the left side of Daquan. And if you look in front of him and to the left, you can see a second officer who is working on the right side of his body. That is the side that they claim Daquan had a gun. We now know it was loaded. He did have a gun. At least that's what the report says, because they were sure to give us that part in the news today. Thank you. That the gun was loaded, and as we've learned about in Minnesota with Alex Perret having a gun, although it could be in this particular case illegal, he wasn't arrested for the gun yet. He wasn't convicted for the gun yet. And what you're going to see in this video is never, ever, because we can see the 2 faces of these officers, was that gun pointed in the face of either officer. Please go ahead and go slowly. Stop. You can see Daquan coming up and the left side of his body. Go ahead. Now, the person screaming, sadly, is the bystander who was obviously shocked that there were shots fired when they had the police dog and 2 officers on top of our client.
My Lord. Attorney Johnson, before I introduce Daquan's mother, can we play the video in real time all the
Absolutely.
way through?
With sound.
Yeah, because it's just shocking when you watch it. It is one of the worst videos of police killing I've ever seen in my life. Just because he is face down, you have him. Why shoot him 3 times execution style? Oh my God.
The dog is on him.
That's what people need to see. And so before I introduce his mother, I just want to say again, y'all, they tried to say this was justified because her child pointed a gun
In the face.
in the face of the 2 officers out there. And yet they haven't produced any evidence of this. We see a video that contradicts that. And so if it is untrue that Daquan pointed a gun in the officers, that you argued to justify this from the beginning, then will you admit it is unjustified to shoot him 3 times like we saw in that video based on an untruth? Some people in our community would call it a lie. And so now you're about to hear from his mother, Angelica Johnson, speak from the heart. She's not a lawyer like Attorney Johnson and I. She's a broken-hearted mother who's advocating for her child. She wants justice.
They initially spun a narrative that my son was still alive. We know he was dead after they shot him. The police chief did a press release and said that my son lay on his back when they initially shot him because his officer was looking down the barrel of a gun. So they shot him in his torso. That was his press release. He explained to you about new high state-of-the-art tasers, but when asked why weren't they used, he didn't have an answer. The police were justified, so they say, but the people in those apartments were immediately harassed and asked for their cell phones and any video footage they had. Why? Why? If you were justified in what you did, why? My son's body was moved twice before EMS got there. why it's not normal protocol for you to move someone. I watched that video over and over and over because they said after we released that video, they then said now he was laying on the gun. He was reaching for the gun. We can clearly see that he had no opportunity to reach for a gun or anything else. But as I watched that move over and over again, and I watched this dog attack my son over and over while two officers straddled his body, I'm still trying to figure out, was he a threat? Watch them shoot him 3 times. That third bullet was so personal that it flipped my son from his stomach to his back. And I had yet to see the gun that he supposedly
all the other mothers who have lost a
Thank you,
son
Robert.
and brought it together to say we're standing up for all of those
Yeah.
families that believe there were unjustifiable homicides committed by law enforcement. Just very thankful that Ben Crump and Ven Johnson, some of the best, not some of these are the two best when it comes to fighting for civil rights and standing up and not backing down. Yesterday, a lot of leadership in our community got quiet because of the narrative coming out from the media. Nobody wants to be associated when police officers say that somebody found some drugs on somebody. Every life matters. No police officer should be the judge, jury, and executioner on the street. And these two lawyers didn't step back, they stepped up. So I'm just very thankful that I was able to connect the family with the lawyers I think would best represent, because I knew they would be up against a system that would be merciless in trying to victim bash the young man that has died and do anything to avoid accountability. So thank you once again, Ven Johnson and Ben Crump.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Womack.
Thank you all. We are now going to take questions from media. If you have not already, please submit your questions with your name and outlet using the chat feature on Zoom. From Sam Lanstra at Fox 17 WXMI in Grand Rapids. For Mr. Johnson or Mr. Crump, do you believe the report that claims Daquan Johnson had a loaded gun and crack cocaine in his possession should affect the public's opinion or the charging decision in this case?
Well, since I've not been given the report, I can't respond to what the report says. I do agree, Sam, that I've seen what the news says the report says. In my world, that's called double hearsay. So I want to see it for myself. I understand that the claim is that Daquan had a gun, that it was loaded, and there was one in the chamber. And what I want everybody to understand is there is zero law. There is no law anywhere in our country that because an individual has a gun and it's loaded means that they can be murdered or they can be shot unless they pose an imminent threat to somebody else. So it's really a very interesting tactic that we hear. So we now went, as Ben Crump so absolutely perfectly stated, from he was shot and killed because 3 times in the back, because
They keep
3
changing.
times, right? Because he pointed gun in the face. We now know that never happened. So now we go to plan B. Plan B is loaded gun. It was under him and he was pointing it where, right? While they were getting his arms behind the back and they had the rabid dog on him. So we see an ever-changing story. And the fact that's the problem that we have. But what I want to also point out, please, is kind of what we've done. We've asked for the records. We don't get them yet. We've asked for all the videos that were available, y'all, within 24 to 48 hours. They were really available within an hour or two, but let's just give them 24 to 48 hours. What Michigan needs is a revamping of the Freedom of Information Act statute. Michigan needs to lead our country in transparency. That's what everybody says that we need, and yet no one does anything about it. Calling on the Michigan legislature, stand up, do it together. It behooves everyone that we show the truth as quickly and efficiently as possible by giving the public the documents that they paid for. Make it available so people can look and make these decisions for themselves, as opposed to a month and a half with a grieving mother and family and community, state, local, regional, and worldwide, and make up all these scenarios of what a bad duty was. Number one. Number two, what have we done? Since I don't have videos and the police report yet, we will. I normally report to you all about what experts, independent experts, have discussed with us. I don't have enough information yet, but I will. You will be hearing from Ben Crump and me in less than 30 days from the date that I get, my co-counsel, Yana Hatchett, Ben Crump, and me. Within 30 days of us getting all the videos and all these records, you will hear from us publicly about what it shows. And we won't just say what it shows. We will show you and let you hear and see for yourself what it shows. no matter what it shows, you will have that. That's a personal promise. We have done an independent autopsy. What's that mean? After Daquan died, obviously as part of the process, Kent County, its offices, the medical examiner did an autopsy. We've asked for that. You heard our client Angelica Johnson tell you we don't have that yet. We don't. So we have no idea, even though the autopsy report, I promise you, is done, and the traumatic findings where they would be able to tell you where the bullets were and where they weren't. They might not have the toxicology or the alcohol studies yet, but all that other stuff would be done. We don't have that. So we hired an independent forensic pathologist. I will discuss the findings of this individual later formally, but preliminarily, what I will share with you is we can confirm there were 3 gunshot wounds to the back. And that means that Daquan was face down when he was shot, of course, as you can see in the bystander video. And one of them, of the shots, was midline, which means right in the middle, into his neck. And more likely than not, that was probably the lethal, and probably, if I see it correctly, maybe the first of the 3. But we will formally discuss that later. We will discuss and share with you the formal autopsy findings that we get from Kent County when we get them. And we'll also have our pathologist, forensic pathologist, reveal the relevant findings that this individual found. So again, total transparency, you will get from our side the second that we can reasonably look at it and release it back to you. Lastly, you're going to ask me, are you filing a lawsuit? The answer is, I don't know yet. From what I see, it certainly looks that way, but we're not going to do anything without having all of the information that is available out there before we comment one way or another. We are doing what we believe to be an independent investigation where we will have experts, like I've outlined here, review this information. We will get back to you either way. Sam, I hope I answered your question.
Can they restate that question right quick? I want to just briefly add one thing, because I'm listening to Angelica Green. What was that question again?
The question was, do you believe the report that claims Daquan Johnson had a loaded gun and crack cocaine in his possession should affect the public's opinion or charging decision in this case?
So I want to say this, not just as a civil rights attorney, but Commissioner Womack, I want to say it as a Black man. You know, they try to make the rules be so different when it's our children that they kill. I mean, think about all the people in America who have drugs on them. Do they deserve the death sentence? Do they deserve to be executed? But if our children aren't perfect, if our children are angels, they then say, oh, no, we can just kill them. And everything is justified, because they keep trying to tell us they don't matter. And that's why we keep saying Black lives do matter. And so it is troubling when they try to, as Commissioner Womack said, Ven, victim bash. Victim bash. It's assassination of character to try to justify the unjustifiable killings of Black people in America. These extrajudicial killings, these state-sanctioned killings. And why do I say that? I said with Angelica crying next to me, if the state don't do anything about it and they condone it, then aren't they sanctioning it? Michigan, the blood is on your hands if you don't do anything about these killings in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The blood is on your hand. I'm sorry, I just had to say that because this is so emotional.
Thank
Next
you.
question, please.
From Alia Wright at Capital B News, this is for Angelica. Angelica, thank you for your strength and vulnerability today. How do you want your son to be remembered? Are there any memories that you'd like to share about who he was as a person, a father, and a son?
Daquan was one of the greatest individuals you'll ever meet. He was kind. He was compassionate. He was a wonderful father. He loved his kids dearly. He loved his siblings. He was the type of person that literally he would give you the shirt off his back. If you called him, you knew he would be there.
Let's show those, Cliff, if you don't mind. Thank you, Cliff.
We can do it.
Sorry to interrupt, Jekyll. I apologize, but we have some photos of Daquan and his family that I know the press, you're going to be very interested in seeing. So please continue, Shaheen.
He wasn't just my firstborn. He was my best friend.
Can you describe who's in the photo
Yeah,
right behind you?
Angelica, tell
Let me-
us what these photos are.
Let me get right behind you. Sorry, bro. Easy. Let's do one at a time, guys. Oh, go back to the first one so Angelica can say who it is.
This is me, him, and his baby sister. And I believe we were on our way to Six Flags that day. So yeah,
Go ahead.
that was us.
Thank you.
And then this is him and one of his stepdaughters, Lay. She absolutely adored him. I mean, loved him. So that was him and his stepdaughter. This was him on a regular day. Daquan loved the barbecue. He just loved to get together with family and just enjoy family and have outings and things. So we were doing a barbecue. This was when he lived in Georgia with me.
You could burn on that
Yeah,
grill.
he could burn. His favorite thing,
The camera.
I didn't get a chance to eat. He had just learned how to make turkey knuckles, and I was supposed to get some, and I didn't get to get any, but it's okay. This one was just Daquan, just being Daquan on a regular day. He had a laugh that was so contagious, a smile that it lit up rooms. So when he came in the room, you know, he just was a happy person and he made everybody happy. This we happened to catch on a FaceTime with me, him, and his younger brother. And we just were, you know, just because at that point I was in Georgia and both of them are in Michigan. So we were just having fun on the phone. And his brother happened to just catch him on camera because he had just shaved his head and we were calling him Mr. Clean. So yeah. And this one is, she's older now, but this one is of him and his daughter at her, I want to say 9th birthday party. So just, you know, him and his baby girl for her birthday. Wow. This one here is me in the middle. And then starting with the purple, that's his oldest sister, his baby sister, his 2 stepdaughters. Then that's him, my baby boy, which is his brother, and 2 of his children. I think we were at Wood Fun Spot.
That's right. Okay. No, thank you, Angelica, for talking about your baby. Any other questions?
Let me just remind everybody, Daquan was a person. That's what we just saw.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you, Cliff.
From Michael Martin, this will be the last question. If the prosecutor decides not to charge these officers criminally, how will that impact your next steps?
Well, let me answer, but I want Angelica to answer. I do want to thank Prosecutor Becker, because last week we had a telephone conversation, and that was a very difficult conversation for Angelica, understandably, where she at least, thanks to Chris Becker, was given the opportunity to speak to him personally. So we'd like to thank him for that. That most often does not happen.
Right.
And Mr. Becker, which we know in the past from other cases, sad that we have a record like this, right, in Grand Rapids, but he will be looking at this report when he gets it. He will be making his conclusions, and he promised Angelica and me, Mr. Crump, that he would be contacting us and letting Angelica know his decision, and then obviously would go public with it. But we just want to, again, thank him for his professionalism, and certainly hope that he does what we expect him to do based on past experience, and give it his own independent, thorough review. So how it will impact it as it relates to a civil case, it will not impact it at all. It's not admissible evidence in a civil trial, but in cases of this magnitude, every potential juror will know that there was no prosecution, and they will know that the only justice this family will ever get will be in a civil courtroom. So it's the same thing in almost every one of these cases, sadly.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. A recording of this Zoom will be uploaded to the press materials folder you should have received via email at the start of the press conference. Please reach out to Alex at nearperfectmedia.com with any questions or interview requests. His contact details have been included in the chat.